Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mortgage Chat with Ian. It is Tuesday. For those that don't know, every Tuesday I do these mortgage topic chats where we talk about something that is important for either yourself, your clients, or all the above. So for those that tune in every week, thank you for joining. For those that watch the videos after the fact, I appreciate you watching. As always, I'm open to suggestions for any topics that might be of importance to you or your clients that you would like to hear about. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out on that. Today's topic is going to be the client experience. It's a video I've been wanting to do for a very long time and kind of go over what my client experience and journey is like. So without further ado, we're going to kick that off. So the journey, it starts by an intro call. So I'm a very big believer in intro calls, being introduced to the client via text, email, and then jumping on a call with the client to talk about their situation. As part of the intro call, I want to understand their goals and objectives, if they've already purchased a home before, if they're moving from out of town, what their why is. These are all very important things because at the end of the day, if I know this background information about them and their situation, I can better fit a mortgage product to suit them and understand and relate to their why behind it. Now, part of that call is also to get them to start an application. We really can't do a pre-approval without an application, and we make it very easy over here at Rate. We do it with a soft credit check to start. Clients love that. I'm sure you all have heard clients express concerns with getting a hard credit check, especially if they haven't found a property that they're interested in. For clients that don't get pre-approved until they have found the property that they're looking for, they can a lot of times miss out. So having the soft credit check aspect of the pre-approval is super helpful because it allows them to shop with a pre-approval in hand without the worry about their hard credit check being done and losing some points on their credit report. So this is really cool. My next phase of that is, of course, to receive the application, review it, and then, of course, issue a pre-approval, and we'll kind of talk about that in a second. Now, there are some tools that I use. During the process, I use the agent portal access. So for those agents that have signed up for co-marketing, you get a portal access that allows you to track the clients that you refer over to me in their live process. So you'll be able to see, you can pull it up at any time, see what stage they're in. This is helpful very specifically when they're under contract because you can see, they're in processing, they're in underwriting, they're in closing. I always do updates, of course, and we'll talk more about that later, but this just allows for some greater transparency. Another tool that I use is MBS Highway and Mortgage Coach. These are all tools that I'll walk through here in a little bit. And then, of course, as part of my commitment to you all to give your clients good service, I use a CRM. So a CRM is very intricate or integral into my day. It's very important for me to have a CRM because if I didn't, I would lose track of your leads and never call them, and your clients would get bad service. But I do have one. It keeps me accountable. It allows me to check in with people when I need to, allows me to provide you updates, keep track of all my notes, all that stuff. If you're an agent out there and you're not using a CRM, I highly advise you to look into one. There are free ones out there. This would be, something that would help you manage your database and your leads. And if you start that day one, definitely going to be a big help. Part of my process as well is like when clients are pre-approved, I always do check-ins with them, make sure that, if they're going to see homes for the weekend, that we get those quotes and information out to them before. That way it's not Saturday evening at 7, you just did a showing at 5, and now they're like scrambling to try to figure out if they can afford the property or what the numbers would look like or so on and so forth. I want to make sure that I reach out to them. So every Thursday I do pre-approval calls. And then for clients that are in contract, every Tuesday, everybody on the transaction, listing agent, attorneys, buyers, sellers, everyone's getting an update on what is going on. Now, of course, not every party there gets an equal update because I can only share so much with other parties, but the idea is that everyone knows that we are steaming along and we will have a good and on-time closing. Now, After closing, that's not it. I don't want that to be the end of our relationship with our client. I don't want that to be the end of our relationship in terms of how we work together. So, first and foremost, I always want to send a client survey. So, I do. I want clients to provide real feedback on how they feel about the service that I've provided. Do they feel like I did a good job for them? Was there any part of the process that felt like it could need some work? We're not perfect humans here, and so we're always looking to be new and improved. And part of this is getting real feedback from clients. And fun fact, I actually ask for feedback during the transaction. So when I'm doing those Tuesday updates to clients that are in contract, I'm always asking, how am I doing? How's my team doing? Because I want to know the truth. If there's something that needs improvement, I want to be able to fix it. I would say more often than not, obviously clients are going to give me good feedback, but whenever they do provide feedback that is about something that could be improved, we always make implemented changes, and I think that's great. Another part of the process for after the deal is closed is a campaign. So I want clients to know that I exist after closing, and I want them to know that I appreciate them. So I always send birthday wishes, loan anniversaries. I reach out to clients to arrange annual checkups for their mortgage, so they can feel like they are still in a good deal. If they have any questions about refinancing or move up purchasing in the future, I want to be in front of them as a resource, not just during their purchase, but after, because I don't want a client for just one transaction. I want a client for life. And even if that one transaction is their only transaction ever, and there is going to be a substantial amount of buyers that I've worked with that bought over the COVID period that will likely never buy or refinance again. But I would love for them to refer me their friends, family, or coworkers, because they know and trust me, and their friends, families, and coworkers are going to want to work with someone that their friends know and trust. And during the post-closing of their home, by staying in front of them, they'll remember me top of mind. And of course, when they refer their friends and family to me and their coworkers, by default, I'm going to pump you guys up as agents so that they will be likely to reach out to you as well. So again, going back to the beginning stages of my process. So intro call is number one. The second part is the soft credit check with the application. The third part, and this is what I'm most proud of, is my strategy call and pre-approval. So I can issue a pre-approval the moment I have the application in, and sometimes I do. It depends on the situation, but I really like to hold off on the pre-approval until after the strategy call. The strategy call is where we do everything on screen together, and I'll show you an example of what that could look like for a client. But we do everything on the screen together, and we kind of decide affordability, what the price point needs to be, so on and so forth. That way, when I'm issuing you a pre-approval, it's specifically relevant to what they want to spend for their home purchase. And part of the tools that I work with on the strategy call is Mortgage Coach, MBS Highway. Again, tools that I'll show you in a second, so that your clients are super well educated in their numbers and understand the market conditions and all of that. We also have the agent portal, as I mentioned. This is essentially where you can monitor and track. MBS Highway is a specific service that follows market data, and then Mortgage Coach is a comparison tool to look at different quote options. This has been part of my process, Mortgage Coach, since probably 2017 would be my best guess, and MBS Highway has been more or less in that same timeline. Agent portal is new. This is something that we are constantly evolving to here at Rate, so expect more features. But right now, it's part of the co-branding, benefit that we offer. But more than that, it's a way for you also to track your leads and, of course, your clients that are in contract. So where the market makes sense. So part of the strategy call is to go over numbers. So this is an example of the Mortgage Coach dashboard, MBS Highway dashboard, where it shows what the market's doing. So if I actually go out to MBS Highway right now, you can see that this is live. So right now it shows that the market is down 15 basis points, meaning that rates are higher by 15 basis points than where they were yesterday. Now, for clients, sometimes they really just want to know, what's going on. They don't always necessarily have a rate in mind that they need to have. They just want to know what the market's doing. And so For clients that will ask about rates and such, my goal is to be an educator. I want them to see um, that they have. Well, hold on a second. I don't think my screen is sharing. There we go. Sorry about that. So for clients that want to just know about rates, I take them to this, and I want to be an educator. I want them to see what's happening in the market. So I can do a lot of different things with this chart. I can expand out to 2 years for data. I can go to the max, which I believe is 5 years, or the last 3 months, which is typically where I leave it. And this allows me to walk them through what's been happening and when, so that they can see, for themselves, what the market's doing, what the trend is trending, and help make an educated decision for themselves if it's the right time to buy. Now, I always am careful in terms of forecasting what could happen. At the end of the day, markets react to a lot of different information. And it's important for us to educate our clients on that because we don't want them to feel like we are a crystal ball, because what we say may not happen and what economists say may not happen, and it's important for us to educate them on the realities. And it's actually helpful by having this chart where we can show them, hey, we were expecting to be in a certain place here, but then this happened, either good or bad. And that can help them in terms of figuring it out. But a lot of what I use this chart for is just showing them the nuances of rates and helping them understand that rates move like stocks, and showing them the chart and educating them how the chart works. So this is a great service. I love using it. And clients have consistently provided feedback that it's helpful as far as them understanding and navigating the process. So that is MBS Highway. Now, we also have real estate report cards through MBS Highway, and this is actually really cool. So this can kind of show appreciation and other things within a market that might be interesting for prospective clients, especially first-time home buyers. We can look at historic appreciation over a period of time, what we're forecasting, what that looks like if you were to purchase a certain price home. So in this particular example, I use a median price of 520. What that would do over 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Very helpful for clients, and helping them be encouraged that home buying might be a little bit more expensive on a monthly basis than their rent, but there's a reason behind why they should, not only so they can have something of their own and be decorating it and do it how they want it, but also for financial reasons as well. Now, Mortgage Coach, as I said before, this is an option this is a tool and an option that I go over with clients a lot. So I did work out ahead of time, just kind of an example client here, John. So he just wanted to see a basic option of 5% conventional against renting right now. He's renting at $2,730. The 5% conventional at $450. Would have him at a loan amount of $427,500, with the rate being 6.375 on a 30-year term. His total payments estimated to be about $3223 with his taxes and insurance and mortgage insurance included. So of course he's a little skeptical, John is, because he's like, well, Ian, this $3223 is more expensive than what I'm paying. Why should I do it? Well, I walk him through on the charts here why he should do it, right? He should do it because home values will appreciate. So, over the next 5 years, he'll pay $173,816 in rent. Now, the mortgage, he's going to pay more. He's going to pay $193,000. But of that, $27,893 goes to principal. So when you subtract out what he's paying into his principal, his net cost is actually cheaper than what it would be to rent. But you know what? We're not going to just look at that. We're going to look at how his home is improved in valuation. And so our new real estate value that we would expect at the time, based on a 4% appreciation, is $547,494. And at that time, in 5 years, his loan balance is $399, meaning he has an equity of $147,000. This is going to be huge for his finances, because if this is not a forever home, he can sell this home and walk away in 5 years with almost $150,000 in equity so that he can put that into his next home, making that home more affordable. If he was to do the same after renting for 5 years, he'd have nothing but his savings and his retirement accounts to do that with. So when I walk clients through this, it is a huge eye opener for them and very helpful for them to help make a decision to buy. But more than that, I can actually show 4 different loan options on the screen. So if I have a client that qualifies for multiple different programs or has different down payments that they're intrigued to see what it does to the payments, I can do this all on screen. And this is all part of my strategy call with them. I want to do this with them. I want this on screen together so that they, can ask questions, can, make changes. Like, let's say they don't want to buy at 450, they decided that's not relevant to them, they want to be higher or lower. We can make those changes live on the go via the other tab that I typically have open for Mortgage Coach that allows me to make those changes at that time live. So going to, again, other tools that I'm using, we talked about the CRM. So the CRM, I'm not going to be able to show it to you because it has client data on it, but, it tells me everyone that's in every status of lead, pre-approval, pending application, in process, closing, close, so on and so forth. I have a very quick reference to all that, and it allows me to be consistent in my weekly check-ins, which I typically do lead follow-ups Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursdays are my pre-approval days, as I said in the past. This is where I call every active pre-approval, see if they're looking at homes in the weekend. That way I can get information out to them prior to, maybe they haven't looked at homes in a while. Maybe the rates have changed a little bit. I want to be able to give that information out to them so that when they're out shopping with you, they're not asking questions about payments. They know what those payments are going to look like, and it's about the home, not the lending side, so that they can, make quick decisions if they need to. Tuesday updates, again, I do every Tuesday. I reach out to everyone on the transaction. The goal is for the client to be transparent on where they're at. If we need anything, to ask for it. For you to understand where we are. Listing agent to understand that everything's on track. Attorneys, so on and so forth. So that everyone feels confidence in the transaction. No one's getting scared. I always ask or always start my check-ins with you and the client first. That way, if there is any renegotiations or anything happening with the sellers, I'm aware of that prior to my check-ins with them. That way, they don't ask me any questions or so on and so forth that I don't have answers for. That way, we all look very strong in the eyes of everyone on the process. After the loan closes, again, they get a post-loan survey. So they'll fill out the survey, and then we will take a look at it. We do post our reviews, and we are transparent about that. And then going back to the post-close campaign, I do reach out for birthdays and loan anniversaries. And I do always send reminders to you all when it is getting close to their birthday and when it is getting close to their loan anniversary. That way, if you are not maintaining a good database or CRM, you can rely on my updates to make sure that you're able to reach out to those clients. Highly recommend you maintain a good database. It's very important for long-term in this business. And this tool for me that allows me to remember all these things is awesome because, of course, without it, I would not be able to. I am human. I am definitely not a computer. And yeah, it's great stuff. But that's it. That is the journey. I appreciate you all tuning in today. I hope you're able to get some value out of it. Again, part of my process is to be an educator, not only to my clients, but to you. And so I would love, again, more feedback for topics that might be of interest in the future. So please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know if you have any of those. I'd be more than happy to push those into my Tuesday calls and go from there. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching, and I look forward to the next one. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.